38. What makes a leader? Pure springs make for clean rivers is an old Korean adage, and it is true. The upper waters have to be pure for a river to be clean. Society is the same. Leaders have to be clean for society to be clean. We need leaders who inspire the citizenry with confidence, courage, and a sense of mission. Not everyone can become a leader, but the number of leaders we have is important. In Korea, we say that if a boat has too many rowers, it winds up on a mountain. If there are too few, however, the boat does not move. It is essential that those with the qualities and capabilities of leadership become leaders. A society is headed for trouble if it does not have such people. What makes a leader? Leaders have to have a number of capabilities. They have to be convincing and able to organize people. Leaders must, through strong leadership, correct contradictions and inefficiency, and know how to utilize the group's energy for prosperity and development. But leadership should not be confused with dictatorship. The leadership I am talking about is vastly different from that, which goes against the group for which it is supposed to be working. Leaders must have a thorough sense of duty. Leaders must consider their work a mandate from heaven. They must live and die for their work, their one and only mission in life. If leaders do not have such a sense, then the group become a massive confusion, unable to function in a healthy manner. Someone who sees leadership as a means for personal gain does not have the credentials to be a leader. A leader must also have an important sense of sacrifice, and that comes with a sense of mission, for the two go hand in hand. Leadership is not something that comes merely from sitting in a high position. It can come only to those who have both a sense of mission and a sense of sacrifice for the good of the group. Becoming a leader is like walking down a road of thorns. Only those who are willing to sacrifice their private lives, the things they like, even their families, can become leaders. You can see that not everyone can become a leader. It depends on whether the person is willing or not to make such sacrifices. In order to make Daewoo a success, I had to give up my family life. I went without sufficient sleep. I did not have time to develop a single hobby. And I have never even had time for a drink. I gave up the joys of close-knit family life for the company. Of course, I know the importance of the family and that the basis of happiness is a good family life. But a leader must at least be able to transcend private comforts and considerations. If everyone did only what he or she wanted to, who would lead? Our personnel policy at Daewoo is based on this. We like people who are creative, who challenge, who are willing to make personal sacrifices and work hard. Those are people who have leadership qualities, people who can become Daewoo company presidents. Even if they lack creativity, we like them if they have a strong sense of accomplishment, and if they try their very best. Such people can become Daewoo executives because they put the public good above their private satisfactions, and because they consider working for social and economic development more important than their social standing. The people who led Daewoo to success have traded their private comforts and joys for a much greater satisfaction. On the other hand, there are people who work only for their own profit and happiness. They are more satisfied with a happy, personal and family life than with the satisfaction that comes from leading development and success. These people never make it beyond the manager level. The people we really do not have any use for at Daewoo are those who cannot distinguish between work for public or private benefit. We have no need for people who confuse the two. A person receives respect as a leader by having a true sense of mission, a sense of sacrifice and strong values. This is where we can distinguish between leaders and dictators. People obey dictators out of fear, not out of respect. People do not fear real leaders, they respect them. Power and prestige come from respect, and a leader has to earn respect. 39. Money is neutral. A really smart person knows how to use both time and money wisely. So let me tell you that you should not waste even small amounts of money, any more than you should waste time. It's good to have a healthy attitude toward money. From the time that you are young, money in itself is of course neutral. It is neither good nor bad. What becomes good or bad is the way that you use it. Money should be used only when it is needed. And the standard for using it is profitability to benefit yourself and others. Spending for your own education, for medical expenses, or to help those in difficulty is money used wisely, and there is no need to be stingy about it in such cases. If you are using money properly, the amount should not matter. Do not be afraid to use lots of money when necessary. On that basis, do not waste even small amounts. Do not use money foolishly as you might. When you have an urge to buy something you do not need, Some people will buy something just because it is cheap, not because they need it. And there are people who buy things just because others buy them. The keeping up with the Kim syndrome, that is pure foolishness. When we took over the Korea heavy industry, I decided to set up employee benefit facilities to improve motivation and develop a sense of camaraderie. At that time in 1976, employee benefit programs were practically unheard of in Korea. But I concluded that the time had come to pay attention to this issue. So I gave directives for employee saunas, barbershops, singles dormitories, and modern cafeteria facilities. The managers were opposed to this, for the total cost would be several $million, a huge amount at the time. The managers had justifiable objections. Total capital at the company was only double the figure for the proposed facilities, and they thought that the money could be better, spent on something directly related to production. Moreover, the company had been running a chronic deficit. The managers felt that the top priority should be erasing the debt, and I could not really say that they were wrong, but did not waver. My decision was to invest the money in employee benefits first. If morale was increased, then production would naturally improve, and the company would continue to grow. I had no reservation about the amount of money, as it was a wise long-term investment. This is how I operate. If something is worthwhile to me, then I do not worry about the figures. On the other hand, I can become a real Scrooge. If I think money is being used unwisely, at the time we had commuter buses in Seoul, running to and from the production site in Incheon, a distance of about 20 miles. Each bus had to pay a 500 won, about $1 at the time, the highway toll. But I discovered that if the bus got off at the interchange before the plant and took the local road, we could save about 25 cents per commute each way. There was not any sense in wasting money, no matter how small the amount. The issue here is not the several $million or the 25 cents. The issue is using money wisely. Spending several $million was just as wise as saving 25 cents. Our Daewoo production plants do not cause much pollution, but we have no qualms about using money wisely for environmental protection. Facilities at plants that do, and we are not cheapskates when it comes to compensation for the family of someone who dies on the job. We just know when and how to use money properly and effectively. Someone who uses money only when it should be used is someone who really knows how to use it. Everything depends on the wisdom of the user. 40, the best kind of chief executive. Several years ago, I spent a few days taking the head of a big Japanese trading firm around to see Daewoo's factories, and he was surprised that I knew the details of every operation. My Japanese visitor, a well-educated gentleman, seemed a little ashamed that his knowledge about his own company was not that deep. We got to be good friends, so I told him my theory about the two kinds of business leaders. One kind of chief executive commands respect by encouraging subordinates to come up with new ideas and handle the details. That kind of chief executive is suitable for many companies. I'm the other kind of leader, a hands-on executive. This has its dangers, of course. When employees come to me with ideas or plans on which they have worked very hard, I want to encourage and praise them, but I can always see a way to do it better. When personnel changes are made among senior managers, for instance, usually about 80% of the plan is good, so I move things around. I know all of our senior managers well, better than anybody else. Similarly, managers come in and proudly explain how they are going to arrange financing for a project. Even the best people do not consider every possibility. The easiest borrowing usually has the highest rates, but shopping around and studying the possibilities harder can get you lower rates. Even when someone comes in with a plan for borrowing at a good rate, I always ask if the companies in our own group have been consulted. Some companies have surplus funds at certain times of the year and can lend them at an even better rate than the banks. Since I've done all these things many times before, I know about them. Much as I want to encourage managers, almost always their plans can be improved. And I must tell them, you can do better. My style of leadership may not be suitable for all companies, but it makes our people achieve more than they ever dreamed was possible.